Duncan Robinson solidified himself this year as a starter on an NBA Finals team, while also leading the league in three-point percentage and cementing himself as one of the absolute best shooters in the NBA. But how is it possible he didn't even get drafted coming out of Michigan? What did the scouts miss? Let's compare and contrast how he was used in college versus with the Miami Heat to see if we can solve the mystery that enabled Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra to fleece everybody with one of their best free agent signings ever. You might be aware of Duncan Robinson's path to the NBA, since it winds its way through a few turns, including starting out at Division III Williams College before landing at one of the premier programs in the country in Michigan. And he quickly earned the reputation as a shooter by nailing 45% of his threes his first year. However, by his senior year, his percentage was down under 39% and left him questioning whether he was good enough to play in the NBA. Let's examine how he got his three-point shots off in college in John Beilein's system. The first thing that jumped out at me was how often he'd be relegated to standing and waiting in the weak side corner. He'd be limited to standing around for 10 seconds at a time, so it's easy to see how he can get overlooked. Notice how low he is in this stance while waiting for a couple of seconds, despite using the hop to get this shot off quickly. I think loading this low can fatigue muscles before you need them to fire into a jump shot. Especially when using the hop to generate rhythm from a standstill, it's unnecessary. On this possession, he is again stuck in the corner standing around waiting, while his teammates get all the fun pick and roll action looking to penetrate the defense. But notice that as he waits for the ball to swing from the low post back over to his side, he's in a much more neutral stance calling for the ball. And when it's time for him to be shot ready, he's much higher and relaxed before catching the ball. Notice how he scissors his feet into alignment on the hop. This is where his body now finds that coiled position, after the ball is in his hands, and he lets it fly for the splash in the defender's face. If the weak side wing was open, he had the ability to float between those spots looking for the opening. So he wasn't just parked in the corner hoping to pull his man out of help position due to the threat of his shooting. Moving up to the wing here gives him just enough daylight to rise up over the shorter defender and hit this left wing three. This time, he finds himself in the strong side corner, and so many of his catches were made without even looking to the basket, only to throw it right back to whence it came. Now, he's stuck watching his teammate dance around off the dribble, hoping his man will mistakenly help one pass away so he can then relocate to the open area. When the play finally unfolds, he does get a wide open shot from NBA range, but just barely misses it by an inch. If learning about the game in this type of detail captures your imagination like it does mine, then you have to check out Skillshare, an online community of thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. And the cool thing is, everything you learn here is applicable to real-life professional situations. I use my iPhone for my on-court demos, and exploring iPhone filmmaking with Caleb and Niles was eye-opening, and I can't wait to try some of these techniques for my next shoot. There are no ads, and it costs less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. Even better, the first 1,000 people to use my link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. So what are you waiting for? Click on my link now, get your free trial, and elevate your knowledge. Like Beilein did by taking a very old school 3-out, 2-in alignment and modernizing it when the strong side post comes up the screen well above the 3-point line, releasing Robinson to cut up from his block to the perimeter, luring his man to help on the roll and getting him open for the catch. He was a bit shy at times to just let these go, which made the eventual shot a lot harder. Strangely, they didn't generate a ton of shots for him off screens. The one set they used the most was this Princeton action. Traditionally, the Chin series would have a guard-to-guard pass with the passer backdoor cutting off the high post screen. But watch how Robinson slams on the brakes, fakes a screen of his own before wrapping around the high post for a pin down. It was remarkable how often this got him good looks, considering it was such a recognizable play and alignment. But it makes sense since the fear of the backdoor cut to the hoop was real and they needed to eliminate that threat first. leaving the defense vulnerable if the screener's man didn't switch out to contest quickly enough. Beeline did recognize that having Robinson set a ball screen was also a way to get him open on the pop, but I gotta tell you, they hardly ran this. And when you look at the quality of shots he got, it was head-scratching that they wouldn't do this at least 2 or 3 times a game. I wouldn't have cared if he missed 70% of these shots. This is the kind of action that exploited the silly hedging of college defenses for really good shots. When scouting shooters, the most important thing I look for is rhythm. More specifically, the timing of the arm swing up with a triple extension of the lower body. If you want to see the most perfect display of rhythm, look no further than Duncan Robinson. What I'm looking for is to see the bottom of the dip timed with the right foot plant. This ensures optimal energy transfer into the shot. Remember, the dip is the source of power and is vital to shooting from distance. But if the arms and legs aren't in sync, it leads to all sorts of issues with calibration and missed shots. This is gorgeous, and something he timed very consistently at Michigan, telling me this guy is without a doubt someone who could shoot at the next level. After not getting drafted, he spent time with some professional trainers who set about helping him, and it sounds like a lot of the training was mental. Stop pump faking and avoiding taking shots that don't feel open. If the ball gets to your hands, then you've got to shoot it. As a result, just look what the Heat got him to do in the same standing around the corner roll. And if you were wondering whether the hop gets it off faster, I think this settles that question. And it doesn't matter how close the defender is anymore, he simply trusts his mechanics and his perfect rhythm using the hop to get these off in very tight quarters for buckets. Because he's got more skilled teammates running pick and rolls, you can see the increased benefits when the defense is actually collapsed into the lane. Remember, this dude does not need much space at all, just the green light and recognition that the pass to him is a shooting pass. And he lit it up this past year, with percentages we haven't seen much other than Steph and Davis Bertans. But a huge key to unlocking Duncan McBride Robinson is the handoff. Spoelstra realized that getting a shooter like him sprinting into a catch gave him openings he'd never had before. Robinson can clearly run faster without the ball than with it, and these quick hitters are lethal as the defense isn't prepared to step up and help in time. But the handoffs also come out of their base motion offense using pistol action. Watch how he gets the pin down from Dragic first, then into the handoff with 5 feet of space on the catch. An easy shot. This is cool. It looks like Robinson is the screener, but Jones Jr. quickly flips this into his own screen as Robinson catches ball 3 steps behind on the handoff for another clean catch and shoot. On this sideline on a bounce play, he looks to set a back screen for the inbounder, then gets his own pin down into handoff. Going to his left is easier because his shooting hip and elbow are already aligned to the hoop. The hop is also the best way to get this type of shot off quickly and in rhythm, and it rattles home. He's also got the option to use the handoff in pinch post action, where he can throw the ball to the big man, then follow his pass right back to get an open shot. Remember, one of the keys to any offense is to have action where shooters can sprint 15 feet into a catch, and pinch post is one of the best ways to do that. One more level of skill he's been allowed to showcase is the ability to shoot from distance off the dribble. Far too often, the catch and shoot guys can get neutralized when defenders successfully fight through screens or switch well enough to blow up the action. But now, Robinson doesn't have to settle for not being open on the catch. He can handle the ball and weave through traffic until there's just enough daylight to quick release another splash. While it might have taken a little imagination from the Heat coaching staff to see Duncan Robinson's true potential, especially in light of how he was used at Michigan, credit has to go to the man himself for working as hard as he did to improve his athletic ability, strength, and as important, his mindset. Since you can't make a three-pointer you don't take. It's led him to be a bona fide starter on an NBA Finals team, with an all-out assault on the 50% three-point barrier in his future. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and comment and subscribe. Also, check out all of our other videos that are happening during the off season. We've got tons of content coming up, so don't miss it. You in?